Funded accounts, right? So after you understand everything that we discussed in the previous videos, how to set expectations, how to understand your strengths and weaknesses, now it's time to talk about funded accounts. The best way to approach them is as a way to make money, right? Of course, most people go into trading basically funded accounts as the holy grail, like the final step, the best thing that can happen when passing a challenge. But actually passing a challenge is only the first step in your trading success. Why? Because it's all about scalability. So recently there's been a lot of traders that adopted this style and found it very successful, such as Paladin, Omar, Riz, I think. A lot of guys on Twitter are adopting this style, including me. The style which you don't increase your profit, but you increase your capital. So the way I do it and the way most successful traders do it is by basically approaching challenges as an investment, right? So buying a challenge is an investment that can bring you a funded account that's basically an active for your company, right? Let's say you are the company, the trader. You invest money, you get a funded account that you start putting to work, and that funded account starts to bring you 1% a month. Let's just think it that way. So I made a very good analysis of this in the last chapter, approaching funded companies. So you can go there and watch it, or after you go through the course. But to give you a quick breakdown, basically you invest money into challenges to get funded accounts that start bringing you 1% a month. So the goal for you, and the goal to actually make a lot of money from funded companies, the way I do it, to make anywhere from, I don't know, over 30, 40K every single month, which is free money, right, at this point. And my goal is to go to 100K a month only by trading funded capital. The way I do it is by only making 1 to 2% a month. So that's something that people don't talk about. But 2% or even 1% a month is a lot of money. But because people don't really afford to buy challenges, afford to increase capital, then they look at bigger goals. So that's why ICT and a lot of smart money concepts traders have growing this industry. Like those concepts have really skyrocketed because it advertises high risk rewards, high returns a month, which from my experience and from others, it's not the way to do it. You're not going to become a long-term profitable trader by aiming for high returns every single month or every single week. So if you see a trader that advertises making 10% a week, just run away from it. Or 10% a month, just run away. It's not, you can't do it. I'm just straight up telling you, if you expect to make 10% a week or a month, this is not for you. We need to approach this professionally. So the biggest hedge funds only make 1% a month, or even less than that. Most hedge funds fail in the first year. They don't even make 1% a month. So us as retail traders, as just regular guys with no background, we want to make 10% a month? That's just not possible, right? So that's why I aim for 1 to 2% every single month with basically 10% risk, because every account you have a 10% drawdown. So you need to use that 10% to make 1%, 2% every single month. That's easy, right? Why do most people don't do it if it's easy? Because 1% for them may not be 1% for me, right? So let's say they only have a 10K, they buy 10K challenges and they finally reach that 10K funded account. 1% is what? $100? Minus the profit split, that's $80. What can you do with $80 in an industry where you see all these flashy cars, flashy watches, a ton of money, big payouts? What are you doing with $80 a month? It's nothing, right? That's why they start aiming for that 10% a month, because that's the money that they can actually feel. But what if I told you 1% for me is 30, 40,000, right? By just scaling and using prop from funding companies. That's why I said start small and only go for 1% a month on the funded accounts, but use the investment money that you have to build accounts. So I did that in the last videos I said, but let's say you buy 5 100k challenges. That's 5 times somewhere around $500 for a 100k challenge, I think. 2.5k for 5 accounts, 5 challenges. Out of that 5 challenges, let's say you pass 2, which you should really do it, right? In 2-3 weeks, you should pass them. Now you have 2 100k accounts and you're down to 0.5k, right? The next month, you make 1% on those accounts, which is 2k minus, let's say 20%, that's 1.6k plus the refund 1k, that's 2.56k, 2.6k, right? So in 1 month or 2 months of trading, you now have your investment back, you have $100 profit, and you have 2 assets, you have 2 100k accounts. Those 2 100k accounts, by setting that goal of 1% a month, and then maybe go to 2%, how easy it is to make 1% a month. Just think about it. Even if you risk 0.25%, that's 4R in a month. Really think about it. If you really wait for the best possible setups, you can achieve that easily. Or even if you risk 1% and you go for 1-1, there is at least 5 very, very safe trades that you have in a month that you can take. Trust me, it's not that hard. So now you have 2 assets that produce you 2k a month minus the profit split, which is 1.6k. Now, because you have the 2.6k, you buy 5 more accounts. And from that 5 accounts, let's say you pass 2 more. So again, you're down minus 2.5k after a month of trading accounts, but you also got your payout on the first 2 accounts. So you already have 1.6k in your bank, right? You lost the 2.5k, the investment, but you got 2 more accounts. So the month that you used to trade those 5 accounts, you're down minus 2.5k, but then you get a withdrawal for the 2 funded accounts, a 1.6k, you're only down $900, and now you begin the 3rd month with 4 100k accounts, but you're down 1k or $900. So that month you make 1%. So that's 4k. That's 3.2k that goes into your bank, plus refund for the 2 accounts, that's 4.25k, minus the 900 that you're down, so that's like 3.3k. So you have 3.3k, you have more that you invested, and you have 4 assets, 4 100k accounts that produce you 1% a month, right? So next month, you go again, you buy 5 more accounts, you repeat the process, right? And then you end up with 6, and maybe let's say 1 round of 5 accounts, you trade, you pass 3 of them. Or what happens if you pass 4 of them? Do you imagine how much money that is, right? But the bare minimum is 2 accounts. So you have 6 accounts that produce you 6k minus 20%, which is 4.8k, let's say 5k, right? Plus you get the investment back and you build your bank account. So in 6 months, you can have 600k in capital and have like 5,000-6,000 in your bank account. And you only started with 2.5k. You see? But people don't think that far. They don't think of funded accounts as business opportunities. They think of it as a holy grail. I need to pass this account. They get a loan from the bank. They get a loan from family. They sell stuff to buy that 300k account and trade it, right? Like it's make it or break it, right? If I don't make it, then I'm gonna die, right? That's not the good mentality. Instead of buying, let's say you only have 1k in your bank account. Don't go for 2 100k accounts. Buy 4, 5, 6 to 25k accounts. We need to think of funded accounts as I said, as an active income, a passive income, or whatever, right? As assets. And your goal is in the next year from buying this mentorship, your goal in the next 6 months to 1 year is to gather as many assets as possible and then use them to make 1%. Because here's the thing, it's harder to pass a challenge than trading a live account making 1%. I say that from my experience. I fail a lot of challenges because it's harder for me to pass them than making 1% a month on my live account. Does it make sense? For most, it doesn't. But it's really harder. Most people think of it of, if I pass the challenge, then I can make the same amount on the live account. But that's not the goal. The goal is to invest money, lose challenges, but pass challenges, get funded accounts, get assets, and use those assets to reinvest into the business, buying more accounts. That's how I got to 4.5 million in funded accounts in, I think 3 months, because I really analyzed how these funded companies work. And then basically I just started taking advantage of it, right? Using this mindset. And that's how I built that capital. Because before I was going for 2 accounts, 300k accounts. I thought it was enough. And then trying to make 2, 3, 4%. And the truth is I was blowing a lot of them because I tried to make a lot of money. So this is my Notion file where I basically have all my funded accounts. I don't think you can see them, but basically I have all my accounts, right? So you see my average profit on an account is max 2%. I never go above 2% on an account. And I just wait for the payout, trade the next account. Make 2%, 1% on that account, go to the next account, and so on. And that way, trust me, this is the perfect way to become rich. Because we take advantage of these prop firms, which, to be honest, I don't know how long it will be until they get regulated and you won't be able to trade with them. But, and to this date, I still buy challenges. I bought 2 challenges today, right? I'm probably going to lose them because I took one trade. The way I approach challenges is I risk 5%, 4% because I want to pass them as fast as possible. Money is expendable, right? I want to invest as much money as I can to get more assets because then I will start making more money. It's just an expense. I'm probably going to lose them. So what? I will buy 2 more accounts next week and try to pass them while still trading the live accounts and making that 1%. Because now, because I have 4.5 million, 1%, it's 45k minus the profit split. That's like 35, 38,000 every single month that I can use. Imagine investing 38,000 into challenges. Just imagine investing 38,000. So the profit for a month you reinvest in your business, which every business does that, right? Imagine you invest 35k into challenges. How much capital would you get out of that? If you're smart, you're probably going to get at least 3 million, 4 million and increase your max capital. The problem is with this, there's not a lot more companies that I can go to. Even now, I struggle to find companies to go through because the top firms I'm already max funded. And it's not worth it to go for a newer prop from where we can get scammed, right? But it's a very comfortable amount that I can use to make money. So this is the way you need to approach funded accounts, and you'll see more in the last chapter.